My name is Fine. As you know, back at it again. If this is your first time seeing me, hi. I hope you're doing well. I just want Black History Month. Yes, and basically think back and almost in a conversational sense, go back to that time I was just asked, what could you share about an experience of racism that you had as a young girl? Or like, it's just like anybody, shoot, they asked me like sophomore year or something, and at the time I was probably what, like 16 maybe. Anyways, so that point being said is that at that time during when I was 16, it was like I one of the things about racism is that just like any other experience, it may not signify a overarching opinion that you create, and it's not really, for me at least, and this is where my experience comes in, a foundational thought. Each time I converse over my experiences of racism, I find myself feeling like an imposter, because in a way you're forced to deduce the thoughts of the other side, because even though talking about racism can be cathartic, right? The things past the racism, what you're expressing, is going into somebody else's mind and trying to figure out, is this what they meant, is this what they meant, you know and in that way I just feel like an imposter, because I'll never really know the true intent or content of people's character unless I accept myself. And honestly, if I were to have a BSU speech now, what I would say is that I would get up, and we had our meetings in like the CCC, so it was like a little room, and I would probably be like the third bitch in the row, and I would get up and I would say that I don't remember experiencing racism in, a visceral comment, or, a punch being thrown, or, exclusion. But I remember racism and how it made me feel. And I felt alone, and I felt sad, but I know what I can control is my perception and my assignment of, features and ideas as being good or bad had no assistance to me overwhelmingly being proud of who I am. And each disruption I made by my presence was not due to my own fault. And so, by that recognition, I feel like, racism is not my fault, and I don't track it as a mistake that was made against me. So I have to count, every comment about being the darkest person in the room, every comment about the way that my hair looks or how my hair works, every comment outside of my race. I'm not what people perceive me to be until I succumb to correcting whatever issue they have with me. And though I don't remember the color of the skin color of everyone that made fun of me, or maybe even said something behind my back, that face of that person is unknown to me. So if I could go to that class again, I think that my main theme, exigence moral, even though I forgot the words that I was saying, like to myself in bed, that made me literally get up and be like, hold on, let me cook. But like, what I would really think is that, honestly, the message, the moral, the theme of every story of racism is that you are important and you should love yourself, because every person is just going to be another story. They're just going to be another thought. And if you ended up being the thought of hate for someone else, never bother to try and figure out a reason why they're wrong, because they are wrong and racism is wrong. And don't bother to hold that pain in your heart and fight against every little thing that you think is a part of that hate for you, because you'll never really know. Like, you'll know but you'll never know, like, you'll never know, like like, don't focus on it. Or I don't know if it's you'll never know or you never do. You'll never be able to go back from being black. Whatever experiences you had, you understand that you're worthy and you're human just as any other person. So I think that during Black History Month, it's important to imbue yourself with the people and the voices that were willing to speak on racism as more than a platitude of their existence and a hindrance to who they were. It was something that, boils all our blood, but how was it something that drove people to success? How was it something that drove people to love? How is it something that was beyond the color of your skin? How did you take that energy and like make it into something else? And a lack of, again, not sounding like that person that's trying to deny, if you have any racist experiences, please put it in the comments. I want to know. I want to hear the stories, because you're not crazy. But once you feel it, let it go. You don't have to in the moment. Nobody is entitled to you. Don't forget what they've done to make you feel or make you wonder. But when you are safe and when you are whole, don't take it as something that you're responsible for. Anyways, yeah, that would it be what I would say to the kids. I always felt bad about that, but because it's like, learn to communicate, baby girl. And that was a personal message for me. Like, y'all learn how to communicate, be in the comments,